The story begins in Istanbul. We see Suleyman Cakir and his men targeting a number of well-known men in the country who are big businessmen and major figures in the state. The media is talking about it, suspecting that the Mafia is settling scores with some of its members. After that, we see Aslan Akbey, who works in an organization that belongs to the state but has special powers and is not subject to any orders from the government except from the highest authority in the state. Its mission is to protect the country and employ men to perform missions inside and outside the country. Aslan monitors what is happening after the series of assassinations that took place. He sends a message to one of the most prominent men of the state who works with him secretly, who is in Kosovo, performing a special operation of his own there, Ali Candan. Aslan asks Ali Candan to return, and indeed, Ali packs his bags and returns. When Ali arrives, his boss Aslan tells him that he must die. He explains to him that everything in his life will change and be forgotten, and he shows him a photo of how he will completely transform from his old self into a brand new person. Ali hesitates because he will be right next to his family and his lover Elif, yet they will not recognize him because he will fake his death, and this will be very difficult for him. Aslan gives him 36 hours to go and say goodbye to his family and his lover before the operation begins.
Aslan works in a simple bookstore in one of Istanbul's neighborhoods, which is the same neighborhood where Ali and his family live. He is a friend of Ali's father, and no one knows that he belongs to the largest secret organization under state security. Later, Ali goes and meets his father, returning home with him. He meets his mother and has breakfast with them, without them knowing that they will never see him again. After that, he goes to meet his lover, Elif, who had been waiting for his return for 3 years. They go out together and he spends the night with her. Afterward, he tells her that he must leave, saying goodbye to her without her knowing that he will not return. Ali goes to his boss, Aslan, who explains the operation to him. He informs him about the assassinations that occurred and tells him that the men who were purged and killed were corrupt arms dealers. Then he tells him that there is a council made up of several very dangerous individuals, where each of them controls a large part of the state in terms of money, business, and media, led by the Baron, Karahanli. They have connections and can control everything in the country secretly, and the money collected by this council through illegal means reaches about $100 billion. Later, and during this time, Ali sees the news of his own death in a car accident while sitting next to his boss, Aslan, who was behind the fake news as the beginning of his operation. The news was published because Ali was working as a secretary at the Turkish consulate in Kosovo, and no one knew he was a secret agent, as his family also thought he was a diplomat in the Turkish embassy. They hold his funeral, and sadness looms over his family and friends, while he watches their grief over his death from afar.
Ali spends a difficult night where he sees all his loved ones dead in his dreams. He goes to Aslan and tells him that by doing this, he has killed everyone he loves and those close to him. Aslan tells him that he is a hero sacrificing for his family, his homeland, and his people, and reminds him that he joined the organization fully aware of the nature of their work. He informs him that he is the only person capable of eliminating the corrupt high-ranking state figures and the Mafia, who enjoy strong influence inside and outside the country. Ali calms down and enters the operation. After he comes out, Aslan comes to him and tells him that every single detail of his appearance has been changed, and even his vocal cords have been altered. In the meantime, we see Cakir with his assistant Memati as they wait to see what will happen after the series of assassinations they carried out at the request of the council. Members of the council use Cakir for a part of their operations in the city of Istanbul. He does not hold the rank of a member, but is rather just a tool to execute the orders of the secret council members. We return to Aslan, who tells Ali that his previous life is over. He hands him a file containing his new life, featuring his new name, Polat Alemdar, along with a bulletproof background story, and asks him to memorize it completely. Polat Alemdar begins memorizing his data, while his new features gradually reveal themselves. After that, we see Polat Alemdar with his new appearance and personality. Next, his boss, Aslan, takes him and speaks to him as Polat Alemdar, asking him to state all the details of his life. Polat Alemdar answers him with every detail, but later Aslan brings him to his secret place, after Polat has had too much to drink, and asks him about his lover's name. Polat tells him that his lover is Elif. Aslan hits him and tells him that his lover is Layla, not Elif, and that he must forget Elif. When Aslan leaves, Polat escapes from the secret place. Aslan returns and anticipates his location, as Polat has gone near his lover Elif's house, looking at her from afar with deep sadness.
Aslan goes and brings Polat Alemdar. In the morning, he informs him about the details of the next phase of the operation, where he shows him photos of Suleyman Cakir, who executed this series of assassinations. Aslan tells Polat that he must protect Cakir and get close to him because he is the gateway to entering this world and the path to reaching the secret council and its figures, who control everything happening inside and outside the country more than the state itself. He also tells him that Suleyman Cakir will be the one to come and get close to him, and he gives him a photo of an elderly man, Uncle Marwan, who is an important figure in the Mafia world. Uncle Marwan will be Polat Alemdar's uncle in front of everyone, as Polat was outside the country and returned to live with his uncle in Istanbul. Indeed, Aslan sends a file to Uncle Marwan, who comes and takes Polat with him to his own coffee house. Uncle Marwan is a friend of Ali's father, as he visited him and asked him for help because some Mafia men belonging to Shawki, who also takes his orders from the council, just like Suleyman Cakir. Shawki is putting pressure on the people of the neighborhood where Father Omar and Elif live, since she is a lawyer who took on the neighborhood's case against the Mafia. Father Omar and Elif had requested Uncle Marwan to help them against Shawki's men. Uncle Marwan agrees, goes to Shawki and speaks with him, but Shawki refuses that. Afterward, Polat arrives at his Uncle Shawki's coffee house, where Saifo, one of Uncle Marwan's men, takes him to the same neighborhood to introduce him to the men there. There, he meets Elif, his lover, in his new identity, who is annoyed by their presence in the neighborhood and tells them that they are all saboteurs in Mafia and that she does not need their protection.
Polat Alemdar kills Shawki's men in a professional manner. The news reaches Shawki as one of his men informs him that a man named Polat Alemdar attacked them like a ghost and that he is one of Uncle Marwan's close men. After that, Mimati informs Suleyman Cakir about what happened to Shawki, telling him that a man named Polat Alemdar managed to attack Shawki's men and inflicted heavy losses upon them. Shawki is considered an opponent to Cakir, so Cakir rejoices at this news. Later, the residents of the neighborhood come to Shawki and tell him that they are ready to sell them their houses as they feared for their lives after the attacks on the neighborhood. Meanwhile, Cakir agrees with one of the men to import specialized gambling machines from abroad, since Cakir succeeded in convincing the council to approve the opening of his own casino. Therefore, he became a competitor to Shawki. Afterward, Suleyman Cakir goes to Uncle Marwan and meets Polat Alemdar for the first time. Cakir expresses his admiration for Polat Alemdar, and before he leaves, he asks Polat Alemdar to come and attend the opening ceremony of the casino. Then he departs. Polat Alemdar goes to his boss, Aslan. Aslan asks him to be more careful and not to go to the neighborhood so as not to draw attention. In court, Elif wins the lawsuit against Shawki, and upon her exit, she is subjected to an assassination attempt by Shawki's men, which ends with the killing of the driver, while she survives along with her friend.
After that, Aslan tells Polat that he must prove himself to everyone in this underworld and make his name resonate throughout the entire scene, and that his target must be the secret council headed by the Baron, Karahan Lee. At the same time, the council members are gathered under the leadership of the Baron in their fortified secret location. The Baron is a man of high stature and a high-ranking figure, but no one knows what he manages in secret. After that, the Sword, who is the second man in the council after the Baron, meets with Shawki, pressures him, tells him that he has not succeeded in anything requested of him, and threatens him. Shawki returns feeling that they are planning to completely liquidate him. Shawki's men go to Mimati and threaten him, but Mimati does not respond to them, as Shawki is provoking them, and Shawki does not want to ruin his relationship with the big figures in the council. Therefore, he does not respond to what Shawki and his men did, especially since the Sword had asked them both not to clash with each other. Shawki threatens Shawki and demands that he pays a sum of money by force. Suleyman Cakir takes a ransom from one of Shawki's men by force and gives it to Shawki. When Shawki finds out about this, he declares war on Shawki, sending his men to open fire on Cakir and Uncle Marwan while they are in front of the coffee house, but Polat saves them at the last moment, leaving Cakir owing his life to Polat.
The next day, Cakir returns with his sister Daria, bringing her along to Uncle Marwan's coffee house. Daria gets to know Polat Alemdar. Suleyman Cakir thanks Polat Alemdar and presents him with a weapon as a gift. Afterward, Polat meets with his boss, Aslan, who tells him that what he did to save Cakir and Uncle Marwan was wonderful, and asks him to respond to Shawki as quickly as possible and not to be lenient about it. Aslan knows everything Polat does precisely and is well aware of all his movements. Later, when Uncle Marwan enters his house, he finds Aslan waiting for him. After a conversation between them, we learn that Uncle Marwan has completed his mission, and the reason for his existence was to pave the way for Polat. For Polat to continue his secret mission, no one must know anything about him, because that exposes him to danger. Aslan shoots him, and Uncle Marwan dies, having been fully aware of this day. After his funeral, Suleyman Cakir and Polat meet in Suleyman Cakir's office, where they plan to respond to Shaki, believing that he was the one who killed Uncle Marwan. Shaki realizes that he is the only suspect in the killing of Uncle Marwan and that everyone will pursue him. The sword calls Shaki and asks him to come, and he calls Cakir and asks him to come as well after what happened. Polat was next to Cakir. Afterward, Cakir tells Polat to wait for him until his return, but Polat follows him without his knowledge. Cakir arrives and enters, and after that, Shaki arrives as well. The sword forces them to reconcile and not to go to war, and if either of them violates this and targets the other, he will eliminate him immediately. They reconcile, and Cakir is forced to accept the matter. Upon Shaki's return, Polat was driving his car behind him. He returns to Cakir's office, who was waiting for him. Polat tells him that he found Shaki's location. Shaki surprises him, saying that the order to kill Shaki is now out of his hands, and there is someone preventing him from doing so. Polat tells him that he will go alone to Shaki and informs him that whoever forced him to reconcile with Shaki does not matter to him. Polat goes and storms Shaki's place alone, catches him, and threatens him. He takes a large sum of money from him and takes the real estate papers belonging to the neighborhood, but he does not kill him. He leaves him in the end so as not to cause harm to Cakir.
After that, Polat Alemdar gets very close to Elif after he returns all the real estate papers of the neighborhood to her. He also gets close to his family, and everyone knows him by the name Polat Alemdar. He gets close to Cakir, becomes his friend, and goes through many operations with him. He continues doing this for a period, and his name begins to stand out more in the media and within the Mafia circles. One day, inside Suleyman Cakir's casino, Ali Candan comes and provokes Cakir. He demands that Polat and Cakir give up the casino to him. They refuse, and Polat stands up to his face. However, upon leaving the place, the man orders his team to kill everyone inside the casino, and a massacre takes place. Elif is injured there, and Polat tries to protect her. After a bloody massacre, they go to the hospital. In the end, Polat and Elif survive, while Daria, Cakir's sister, dies. After this major event, the police arrest Suleyman Cakir, causing an uproar in the country as the casino is exposed.
This is where the video ends, but there are still many events and developments that we will see in the next part. Do you think that Polat Alemdar will succeed in eliminating the council of the Baron Karahanli? Leave me a comment with your answer, and we will meet in the next part.